Hi and welcome to this update on ARK transactions that have happened over the last week between the 12th and 16th of July 2021. As always, this video is not investment advice. So let's get to it. It's been a busy week with over $500 million worth of purchases and a similar amount of sales in that last week. The big buys have been Coinbase, a very high conviction play for ARK, and some big buys every month since their IPO. At number 6 on their top 10 list at the moment. Second up, UiPath, another stock where Kathy has been aggressively stepping up her purchases. Nearly a third consecutive week of $100 million plus purchases, and now in her top 15 stocks. Finally, some buying on Square after some major sell-off and portfolio rebalancing back in April. On the selling front, Tencent, a nearly $700 billion Chinese company. They do a ton of things from digital payments, social media, online gaming, music, e-commerce, medical, utilities, cinemas, and a lot more. Over the last few months, it's been clear Kathy is running away from Tencent, at least for the time being. And that's not surprising. The Chinese government are after them and other large Chinese tech companies. A planned merger of a couple of their music associates was recently blocked, and there's been antitrust investigation overhang on them. Next up, Novartis. Looks like a portfolio rebalance, and Kathy is known to do that from time to time. Still a top 10 stock in her genomics fund. Finally, Pure Storage. Their shares have taken a beating and still a way off from their highs of nearly $30 back in Feb. Although they had a stellar start to Q1, with revenues being up 12%, subscription services being up 35%, plenty of cash in hand, Wall Street analysts still see them as a buy with a 50% upside over the next year, but not ARK. This is a competitive sector, and their growth over the last 5 years have not been exciting enough for them. So with that summary out of the way, let's do a mini dive into the top 3 stocks. First up, it's Coinbase. Coinbase are a foundational piece of the crypto ecosystem. They have about 11% crypto asset market share and make money by transaction fees for trading cryptos and services like storage. In recent news, Visa is partnering with 50-odd crypto companies, including Coinbase, to make it easier to spend cryptos at 70 million merchants worldwide, including those that do not accept digital assets. This will hopefully further help with the adoption of cryptocurrencies. They're a fair bit off from their $400+ highs that they've reached in the immediate aftermath of their blockbuster IPO. However, there's quite a lot of headwinds ahead. The massive volatility in Bitcoin and other crypto prices over the last couple of months has taken its toll on Coinbase. Regulators around the world, in China, the EU, the US, are all stepping up their scrutiny of crypto-related businesses. Pricing will continue to be under pressure from rising competition in PayPal and Square's Cash App. Analysts put them at a moderate buy with a 50 to 160% upside. At $250 levels, it's probably worth following Kathy's lead. At number 2, it's UiPath. ARK have been rapidly increasing the holdings of this robotics process automation business, nearly $300 million over the last 3 weeks. Stock has been down 15% over the last week and 33% from their all-time highs. They are still expensive at a $30 billion valuation and plenty of competition headwind. However, they are a leader and their software can be deployed against legacy systems or on the cloud. They use computer vision, like what Tesla does for its autonomous cars, to see what's happening on screen and intuitively get the work done. Q1 revenues were up 64%, they nearly have $2 billion in cash and no debt. Free cash flow is negative, but that's expected as they're investing heavily in new capabilities and marketing. Clearbridge Investments recently said they expect the $60 billion industry to more than triple to $200 billion by 2030. And UiPath's unique pricing model, partner ecosystem and management team puts them in a really strong position. But those high premiums are weighing down on the stock, so prices have dropped in recent weeks. Analysts have them at a moderate buy with a 15 to 30% upside over the next 12 months. My thoughts, dip your toes and prepare for turbulence. Finally, it's the digital payments leader Square. They have nearly $500 million invested in Bitcoin. CEO Dorsey is doubling down on cryptos and recently announced integrating other services such as its cash apps and the building up of open source decentralized financial services on top of that. This is really exciting news and opens up a lot of opportunities to increase revenue per user by potentially 3 to 5 times. It could easily turn them into the ultimate neobank and a money center of the future. The stock charts are forming a new $250 buy point above which we could start to see some upwards movement. Analysts have them as a moderate buy with a 20 to 60% upside in the coming year. So here's the top 10 across the entire portfolio. Despite a $20 million investment in the last week on Zoom, they drop a spot and Twilio take over that number 7. Square is now more firmly in that top 3 with Coinbase chasing that number 5. I hope you found this analysis helpful. If you did, please do consider subscribing and smashing that like button. Do drop a comment below and I will respond to you. Thanks again for watching today.